Hello students, in today's class, let us learn about micrometer screw gauge, a device that we use to measure very small lengths. So you might have seen this screw gauge in your labs. You might have measured the thickness of wires or the diameter of small glass beads using this screw gauge. Let us understand the basic working mechanism of this device. This screw gauge consists of various parts that actually helps us to measure very small lengths. First of all, there is a U-shaped frame. As you can see it here, this frame actually holds together this structure. And we have a cylindrical part over here, over which we have a reference line and small markings are made. This scale is called the pitch scale of this screw gauge. So these markings will normally correspond to 1 millimeter. Sometimes in certain scales 0.5 millimeter may be marked. So as of now, let us take the case of a screw gauge upon which 1 millimeter is marked on the pitch scale. So pitch scale is the cylindrical part where we have drawn a reference line and small readings of 1 millimeter is marked. Now over this cylinder, we have a cylindrical shaped part which can actually slide over this pitch scale. So this is the circular scale, or we call it as the head scale of screw gauge. So it is cylindrical in shape and it is actually connected to a thimble, a cylindrical shaped thimble, and this part can actually slide over this pitch scale. In order to enable this mechanism, we have a ratchet here. So we will be rotating this ratchet and the rotations will be transferred over to this thimble and this head scale. And this head scale will be sliding over this pitch scale in a gradual manner. So these rotations will also be moving this screw attached here. So they are connected through internally they are connected, and the screw will be moving forward or backward as you twist this ratchet and thimble. Finally, at the other end we have a stud which will finally stopping this motion of the screw. So these are the different parts of a screw gauge. We have a U-shaped frame and we have the pitch scale, which is the cylindrical part over which we have marked small divisions of 1 millimeter or 0.5 millimeter. Then we have the head scale, which is a cylindrical part over which even finer divisions are marked and which is able to slide over this pitch scale. And there is a thimble that finally connects this head scale, and a ratchet mechanism for the rotatory motion of this head scale is also arranged. On this side we have screw which is moving forward or backward depending on the rotations that you give on the ratchet, and finally we have the stud where this motion of the screw will stop. So this is the real image of a screw gauge. As you can see, the stud is here, the screw, then the U-shaped frame is here. This is the pitch scale and it is often called pitch scale. Main scale is for vernier and pitch scale is for the screw gauge. Then we have the circular scale or the head scale over here. There are finer divisions on this. This is the ratchet arrangement that we turn. Here this is the thimble part and this is the screw that will be moving forward or backward depending on the motion of this ratchet mechanism. Now first let us understand more about the pitch scale of a screw gauge. So as I have mentioned, there is a reference line that is marked on the pitch scale and smaller divisions are marked over this small reference line. So as I have mentioned, these divisions will either correspond to 1 millimeter or 0.5 millimeter. So let us assume that 1 millimeter is the smallest division that is marked on this pitch scale. So this reading, the distance between 0 and 1 will correspond to 1 millimeter here. So this large line corresponds to 5 millimeter reading. So that is the purpose of the pitch scale. We will be taking the pitch scale reading from the pitch scale. We call it PSR or pitch scale reading. Now there is another scale which is the head scale. That is the divisions that are marked on this head scale. Sometimes there might be 100 divisions on the head scale, or sometimes there might be 50 divisions on the head scale. So let us consider the case when we have 100 divisions on the head scale. In that case, the surface of the head scale, the cylindrical part, the tip of this part will be divided into 100 divisions. Starting from 0, there will be finer divisions, then 5 and so on, and the full rotation will give you 100 division markings. Now, as I have mentioned, there is a reference line on the pitch scale. This is the reference line, and the reference line is used to take the readings, especially the head scale reading. Now let us understand about the zero correction of a screw gauge. In order to find the zero correction, we first have to move the ratchet mechanism and enable the screw to touch the stud. So there will be no distance between the stud and the screw. They will be touching each other and there will be no gap in between them when we take the zero reading. And when that position, when the stud and the screw touches each other somewhat tightly without any gap in between them, we look for the head scale reading. So in that case, in that position, when the stud and the screw touches each other, this head scale will be moving up to this marking of 0. So as in this figure, as of now, since the stud and the screw are far apart, we can see that this head scale is somewhat away from the 0 marking. As we move the screw forward, we will be twisting this head scale, and this head scale will proceed over this pitch scale up to the 0 marking. So the pitch scale reading will be naturally 0 when the screw and the stud touches each other. But in that case, the head scale reading may not be 0. So there might be 3 different cases depending on the position of the head scale when we look for zero correction or zero reading. So the 3 different cases are the head scale reading. The 0 point of the head scale reading might exactly coincide with the reference line in one case. So here we say that the head scale reading is 0. In that case, or we can say more accurately, we can say the zero coincidence in this case is, the first case is 0. In that case, the zero error will also be 0, and the zero correction will be also 0. Now let us look at the second case. In the second case, the 0 marking on the head scale is actually below the reference line. So in this case, what is the zero coincidence? In this case, zero coincidence is somewhat, say, 2, right? The 2 marking on the head scale is actually coinciding with the reference line. Then we say that the zero error in this case is +2. That means if the 0 marking on the head scale is below the reference line, we say that the zero error is positive. So in order to correct this, the zero correction that we must bring, zero correction that we should bring on the head scale reading is -2, because +2 is the zero error and -2 must be the correction. Now let us check the other case. So in this case, the zero reading on the head scale is above the reference line. So when we look for zero coincidence, the zero coincidence is the division on the head scale that is exactly coinciding with the reference line. So in this case, the zero coincidence is 96, right? The 96 marking, this is 95, 96, 97, 98, 99 and 100. So the 96th marking on the head scale is actually coinciding with the reference line. Then what will be the zero error? It is actually -4. From the 100th marking or the 0th marking, -4. Negative, the head scale is somewhat displaced in the negative direction. So the zero error is -4. And what should be the zero correction? If the error is negative, correction should be positive, should be +4. So this is how we do zero correction using on a screw gauge. We look for the coincidence of the head scale reading with the reference line at the tighter position, and then we do the zero error and the zero correction calculations. Now let us look what is the least count of a screw gauge. In order to find the least count, first we should look for the value of pitch. Now by pitch, we mean the distance moved by the head scale in one complete rotation. So we will be moving this head scale in a rotated manner. So if 0 is here, then if we move the 0 in a clockwise direction, then finally when the 0 reaches back this position, the head scale has made a complete one rotation. And during that rotation, this head scale will be proceeding forward. And what is the distance that the head scale has proceeded forward when it made one complete rotation is denoted by the term pitch. So in order to find pitch, we will make some number of rotations on the head scale, say 6 number of rotations, and we denote the distance moved by the head scale or in 6 rotations, and we divide that by the number of rotations so that we could exactly find the distance moved by the head scale in one rotation. So distance moved by the head scale in 6 rotations or 7 rotations is calculated divided by number of rotations. In this case, this is 6. 6 rotations divided by 6. So this will give you the pitch, which is the distance moved by the head scale in one complete rotation. Now having found the value of pitch, we can proceed to find the value of least count of a screw gauge. It is given by pitch divided by number of divisions on the head scale. So if we find that, suppose distance moved by the head scale in 6 rotations, suppose say it is 6 millimeter, and number of rotations is 6, then the pitch is 1 millimeter, right? Normally in most of the screw gauges, pitch is 1 millimeter, or sometimes it might be 0.5 millimeter. So as of now, let us take the case of a 1 millimeter. So least count will be pitch divided by number of divisions on the head scale. So it is 1 millimeter divided by say 100. Suppose our head scale has 100 divisions, then this is equal to 0.01 millimeter. So normally in most of the screw gauges, we can measure up to a distance of 0.01 millimeter, which is the least count of most of the screw gauges. Sometimes this value might differ depending upon the value of pitch or number of divisions on the head scale. In certain cases this might be 50, certain cases this might be 100, and pitch might also vary depending on the device that we are using. It might be either 0.5 millimeter or 1 millimeter. So we have taken the case when pitch is 1 millimeter and number of divisions on the head scale is 100. Now let us calculate the total reading of a measurement. So before that, let us check how do we take measurements using a screw gauge. For that, we place the object whose diameter is to be measured in between the stud and the screw. The stud is also called anvil. So here we have to measure the diameter of a glass bowl. We place that bowl in between this stud and the screw tightly, and we move this ratchet in order to make this tight, And after that, we look for these readings. So suppose we get this kind of reading here. So here, as you can see, first we go for the pitch scale reading PSR. So in this case, here on the pitch scale, you can see the 0th marking, this is the 1 marking, and this is the 2 marking. So the pitch scale reading in this case is 2 millimeter. After that, we go for the head scale reading. And here you look for the reading on the head scale that coincides with the reference line. Here, as you can see, this is the 38th division, 35, 36, 37, 38. So head scale reading is 38. After that, you will have to find the corrected HSR. To find the corrected HSR, you will have to add the 0 correction along with this HSR. Suppose the 0 correction is, suppose it is plus 2, then corrected HSR is 38 plus 2 is equal to 40. Neither the HSR nor the corrected HSR has any unit. Only the PSR has a unit depending upon the value of pitch. And in order to find the total reading, we have to use the equation total reading is equal to PSR plus HSR into LC. In the previous case, it is 2 millimeter plus the HSR, in that case is 40, PSR plus corrected HSR into LC must be the equation. HSR must be corrected. So total reading is PSR plus corrected HSR into LC. So 2 millimeter plus corrected HSR is 40 multiplied by the least count, which is 0.01 millimeter. So this is equal to 2 plus 0.4 millimeter, which is equal to 2.4 millimeter. So this will be the total reading in this particular case. So this is how we take measurements using screw gauge, and these are the basic working mechanism of a screw gauge. We have seen different parts of the screw gauge. We have tried to understand the working mechanism, and we learned how to make 0 correction, to calculate the least count, and finally to take measurement using the screw gauge. I hope this portion is clear for you. Now, hope that you will check the screw gauge once you get to see them more closely. Now coming to the screw gauge versus vernier caliper. Screw gauge can actually measure lengths that are even smaller than those that can be measured by vernier caliper. For example, in the particular case that we considered, the screw gauge was able to measure up to a least count of 0.01 millimeter. What is the least count of a vernier caliper? It is just 0.1 millimeter. So even smaller lengths can be measured using screw gauge. It is also called micrometer because at the time it was invented, it was one of the devices that was able to measure the smallest of the lengths, and hence the term micro indicating small and meter indicating a measuring device. So when we compare screw gauge and vernier, screw gauge can measure even smaller distances. 0.01 millimeter is 0.001 centimeter, or 0.1 millimeter is 0.01 centimeter. So while this is the least count of a vernier caliper, a screw gauge has an even smaller division, even smaller least count, which enables us to measure the thickness of even smaller objects. So in order to measure the thickness of a wire, often we use screw gauge, and in order to measure even lengthy objects, we use vernier caliper. So I hope this portion is clear for you. Thank you.